Hello, our names are Gimenez, Olivia Andonian, and Esmeralda Ruiz-Ayala. We did a study to see if there was a correlation between the religiosity of individuals and how frequently they cuss or use curse words. We wanted to see if factors such as gender, age, setting, and different religions contributed to individuals cursing more or less than others. We were interested in exploring this topic because we each come from different religious backgrounds, and we're curious to see if atheists/people who do not attend church were more laid back about their language usage than those who were considered religious/went to church very frequently. We were also just generally interested and curious to see if there was a connection between the two.
Here are some key terms to remember throughout the analysis of our study. Piety is used in regards to religion, describing how devout or devoted the participants identify themselves to be in the survey conducted. Euphemism was used to describe mild terms used in place of profanities, such as heck or dang. T-test and ANOVA test refers to the Google add-on we use to analyze our numerical values. The T-test tests two groups, while the ANOVA test tests more than two. They both determine whether or not the statistics we have put in have any significance among one another, giving us the p-value. The p-value was the result analyzed. The alpha is the term we use to be the set point where the value would be counted as significant or insignificant based on whether it fell below or above this point.
In order to observe interactions between the factors we theorized impacted the use of profane language and gather enough responses to make our conclusions credible, a survey was created which allowed the participants to self-attest to each aspect being considered. These factors included the age, religion, use of profane language, as well as the participants' level of worship, ranging from none to frequent attendance of religious sermons and observation of holidays. While an individual's own behavior was key, our survey also looked to find whether common interactions with others of a similar level of piety also impacted the use and opinions on profane language. In order to preserve variation in terms of religion and to keep the ideologies of one group from manipulating or distorting our results, our survey was not limited to a single group but consisted of 9 different ideologies. The different religious identities represented are as follows: Catholic with 16 participants, Christian with 21 participants, Agnostic, Atheist, or None with 20 participants, Buddhist with 7 participants, Orthodox Christian with 6 participants, Pagan or Polytheistic with 2 participants, Other Christian denominations with 5 participants, Sikh, Judaism, Islam with 4 participants, and Hindu with 2 participants. Our survey yielded over 80 responses, whose answers were then converted to numeric values from a predetermined scale of 0 through 6, with 0 being the least and 6 being the most. These numeric values were entered into a data spreadsheet, and different factors were tested against each other with a t-test to determine whether our results were viable or could simply be considered a matter of happenstance. The major categories being tested against each other were age and swearing, age and religiosity and swearing.
Our participants in this study volunteered to take the online survey we created through our social media platforms. They needed to read a consent form we created for the study and needed to be 18 or older in order to participate. They were placed in 2 age groups, 18 to 25 and over 25. In the survey, the participants were asked questions relating to their demographics, their age, gender, and religion. We also asked them to rate themselves on piety, level of profanity usage, how much they believed in their religion affected their use of language, and if their environment influenced how often they monitored their speech.
We divided our participants into groups below 25 and above 25. These components were all collected via Google Forms and stored through Google Sheets. Through Google Sheets, all of the information was laid out, to which we were able to code them to be tested in a few different ways: age and religiosity, age and swearing, and the level of religiosity and type of swearing between the 2 age groups.
Survey results, now coded in numeric values, were entered into an Excel sheet to be tested in regards to the viability of the responses provided. The t-test was run on comparisons between only 2 categories, while ANOVA was used to compare all the data we had gathered. Tests that provided a p-value lower than 0.05 were considered relevant to our research with a likely proven correlation, while those that were higher were discarded as likely being coincidental.
Our team found that religiosity and swearing affect each other. Religiosity and swearing affect each other in ages 18 to 25, and religiosity and swearing affect each other in ages 25 and up. In the following slides, we will go more into depth on each of these statements.
The first t-test that was done was to see if age and level of religiosity had an impact on each other. The way these tests worked is that the p-value must be below the alpha of 0.05. This t-test showed us a p-value of 0.0204, which tells us that there was about a 98% chance that religiosity and swearing have an effect on each other. The next t-test was done on age and swearing. Our p-value was 0.3826%, which was above our alpha of 0.05%. This tells us that there was about a 62% chance that religiosity and swearing affect each other. 62% is not enough to make a proper conclusion, so we can deduct from this test that age and swearing cannot be compared alone. We decided to run an ANOVA test, so we took the information of ages 18 to 25, level of religiosity, and what kind of swearing was used. The p-value was incredibly low, 0.0004, which is far below the alpha. There was a 99.96% chance that religiosity and swearing affect each other in this age range, so we could say yes, these aspects are significant. Our next ANOVA test was done on the same concepts, but for ages 25 and over. Our p-value fell at 0.006, so there was about a 99.4% chance that religiosity and swearing affect each other.
3 out of the 4 tests were successful in helping us find which of these topics affect each other and how. We understood these things. Age and swearing alone do not impact each other, but with religiosity, they do. Swearing and religiosity affect each other. Overall, the more religious someone is, the less likely they are to cuss or swear.
We were able to answer the question, does the level of piety someone has affect their use of profanities? Through the t-tests and ANOVA tests we ran on the results we collected, we were able to say that yes, there is a link.
Having completed our research and studied the results, we can conclusively answer our question with an affirmation that religiosity does impact the frequency by which a person swears.